Good afternoon. And here's another question which quotes the words of Jesus. No, I beg your pardon, it's words from the epistles of Paul. Do not suppose that a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways, will receive anything, I think, from the Lord. How about that? Well, when it comes to commenting on biblical texts, I always feel I must preface it by saying that this is how it seems to me. And if people disagree with me, I ask your forgiveness, but I can only offer my own experience on this one. Double-minded. Now then, if I just look over there, there are a couple of people walking through this field, and I can see by their gestures and the way they're looking at each other that they're talking. So their attention is divided, isn't it? So how much are they receiving from this field? Or from the nature that's all around them? And how much of their attention is being given to their companion? Many, many times in these videos I've referred to the human condition as sin, which really means divided, separated from the presence of God. Now look, if we just come into the present now, feet on the ground, listen and look, we may realize the stillness, the still presence of God, of the Lord. Now the more deeply present we are, the more attentive to these simple practices of listening and looking, the more we'll see, won't we? Look, my eyes are just focused on this grass with the buttercups are emerging and the dandelions are all going to seed with these white seeding heads. Just to look at them, the more you look, the more you see, don't you? Look, you can probably see on this video, this lovely, what we call cow parsley beside me. Do you know, look closely at that, and the miracle of what's there is beyond all comprehension. It's absolutely, there are no words to describe it, are there? And yet we don't notice it, we just walk through as though it wasn't there. More interested in our own comments about coronavirus or something. It's almost impossible for us to give full attention to anything. But when we do draw near that full attention, behold the world miraculous and wonderful to say the least. You see, the only real impediment, it's not that God withholds, that's just childish thinking. There's no reprimand from God. God is like the sunshine, it's like spiritual sunshine. It just pours, it's just given without let or hindrance to anybody, without qualification. It's we who draw the curtains of our minds with our separate thinking, which cuts us off from it. Therefore, what can we receive? We just receive drips and drabs, don't we? A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit sometimes, when we remember. There's nothing to be afraid of in this quotation. God is not unkind in this way. God is most merciful. But the only thing to fear in this life is sin. Again, it's very clearly put in this life, in the Bible, and here I can't quote very accurately, but Jesus says, I'm not sure if he's asked about fear, but he refers to fear him who is able to cast your soul into hell. Fear him. And what is that, my dear? It's that which is so cut off from this abundance of grace that is all around us, that we're turned right round into outer darkness, which is hell, and nobody puts us there but we ourselves. That's the thing to fear. It's this obsession with ourselves as a separate entity, which just cuts us off, condemns us to nothing better than the creation of our own minds. First of all, confusion, loneliness, feelings of loss, inadequacy, which if we don't come to our senses, just leads us further and further down the slippery slope to God indeed knows where. Less light, more darkness. And so often this is the human condition. Double-minded in all our ways. Hence, not surprisingly, we go around thinking there isn't a God, and if God's good, why does he allow these things to happen? And all the other nonsense that's floating around these days in the name of the post-Christian era or some such stupidity. The Lord is as he always was. Never mind what he's called in different religions and that. It's just like the spiritual sun. If you want to realise what God is, think of the sun. As ancient people have always thought, they identified God with the sun. And a very perfect analogy it is. And you see how the sun is covered by clouds, and even more so by ourselves when we turn away. Yet, to just go beyond the sun into the spiritual sunshine, and there we have what we call God, the invisible sunshine, which is the sun in the sky glorified to the infinite degree. There you are. Most of the time we sit indoors, don't we, glued on our computers. We don't even go outside into the fresh air of nature and the sunlight of nature, let alone open our hearts to the spiritual sunshine. So we walk around in this absence from God. Oh, my dears, come back to your senses. Come back here. Come back. Come on, come back here. Come back home, feet on the ground. Use your common sense. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. Fear not. May God bless you. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.